Hey you guys, today we're going to talk about percent of change or percent change. When we talk about percent change, we have a mark up and then we have a mark down. So when you change, you're either going to change by marking up or you're going to change by marking down. So a markup is when we increase, when our amount goes up, when we change and it's an increase. Other words that we can see are markup, increase, tax, when we add tax to something, when we add a tip to something, also when we talk about commission. Markdown is when we decrease. This is also when we talk about a discount or a coupon. So when we have a percent of change, change is when it either is going to be marked up or it's going to be marked down. We have a formula that we use for these. We do our percent over 100 equals, this is starting to look like a proportion, equals our change over our subtotal. And subtotal is a total, before taxes, before a tax or a tip or a coupon. So our subtotal is what it's going to be before we put our coupon, before we add our tax, before we take our tip, stuff like that. So when we talk about our percent markup or our percent change, we're going to follow this formula. So if I tell you that I went to Texas Roadhouse and I say that I spent $142 and I left a tip of 20%, I want to know how much was that in money. How much money did I leave? Okay, so I went to Texas Roadhouse, I spent $142 and I left a tip of 20%. How much money was it that I left? So using my formula, percent, so I'm going to put 20 over 100 equals, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put my change, I don't know what it is, so I'm going to put X, over my subtotal, the total I left before my taxes or tip, which is $142. I have a proportion, so I'm going to cross, multiply, and divide. So I'm going to take 20 times 142, which gives me 2,840 equals. Other side, 100 times X makes 100X. Divide both sides by 100 to get my X by itself. And that means that I left a tip of $28.40. So my total bill, the total is when I'm going to take my original amount, $142, I'm going to add the tip of $28.40, which is going to leave me with $170.40. That's the total bill of what I've spent. You're going to follow kind of the same thing when you're having a markdown. So this was a markup because a tip brings it up. You're going to follow those same steps for a markdown. So if I said that I had a 65% off coupon for $40, I'm going to look at this like percent 65 over 100, always over 100, equals, I don't know how much it is that I'm going to save, so X over $40. So when I look at this, cross multiply 65 times 40 gives me 2,600. 100 times x makes 100. X, divide both sides by 100. And I'm going to be left with $26. This is how much I saved. This is what my coupon was. So I want to know how much I spent. So I'm going to take my $40 and I'm going to subtract 26 from it, and I'm left with $14. So I ended up spending only $14. Hopefully this helps. There will be some examples to follow, but remember, your formula is always going to be percent over 100 equals whatever you're going to end up using for your tax, your tip, your change, your amount that you're using over your subtotal. Hopefully this helps. I will see you later.